So as you lie on your back, can you feel the weight of the body pressing into the floor? And then just that, as you breathe, the belly expanding into the hands. And on that breath out, just feeling the strength of your core as you draw your belly button back towards the floor. Breathing in, belly expanding, and with every breath, just trying to drop within your body. Breathing out, belly drawing back. Take one more round. Just keep the breath flowing in that way. And then walk your feet just a little bit closer towards each other. Have your toes facing forwards. And the next time you breathe in, let the belly expand into your hands. Okay, and as you breathe out, draw your belly button back towards the spine. Push through your feet and then see if you can start to lift the hips up. And you're not going all the way up, just so that the hips are hovering off the floor. And then lower the spine down and relax the core. Okay, so as you exhale, the belly draws back, so that braces your core. And push through your feet and feel your hamstrings and your glutes as you lift the hips up. Maybe go a little bit higher this time. And then lower the spine down nice and slow. Okay, and once the tailbone hits the floor, just relax the glutes, relax the hamstrings, relax the core. Exhale, belly draws back, so you're bracing your core strong. Push through your feet. Now turn on the hamstrings and the glutes by pushing the feet down. And then see if you can lift the hips up a little bit higher again. And then start to lower the spine down, vertebra by vertebra. You can really get lost in this little rhythm. Breath in. And then breathing out, belly drawing back, pushing through the feet. Now feel the hamstrings, feel the glutes, and maybe the hips go a little bit higher. And again, lower the spine down, vertebra by vertebra. So you're inhaling here. And then exhaling, belly back, push through the feet. Feel the glutes, feel the hamstrings, pull the hips up to the sky. Okay, so every time just getting a little bit higher. Okay. And then let the spine lower down, vertebra by vertebra. Okay. So now if you have got a strap and you've got it looped already, then you can just slide it over your legs. So it comes around your legs. And then you can use that to kind of push the legs into. Yeah. Don't worry if you've not got one or if it's a little bit complicated to get it. And you're perfectly fine without it. So try it 2 more times now with the strap if you've got it. Breathing in, belly expanding. And then breathing out, belly drawing back. Squeeze the feet down, push through the hamstrings and the glutes, and then squeeze the legs into the strap as you lift the hips up. And then start to lower the spine down. So feel each of the vertebrae there. It's quite nice to have the strap to kind of push into. Good. So try that just 2 more times. Just so you can really play with it with the strap. Pushing through the feet and then lifting the hips up. And then lowering the spine down. Okay, if you do feel any tightness in your knees, you can turn your toes out slightly. And then last time, tuck in the tail, push through the feet, and then lift the hips up to the sky. Okay, now rest your hands on the floor. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Interlace the fingers and See if you can press your baby fingers into the floor. Inhale, feel the glutes and the hamstrings. Feel the core. And then exhale, well done. So you can release the hands and then lower the spine down nice and slow. Yeah, try not to let go of the glutes until you get all the way down. Okay, we're going up one more time. And this time we're going to do little pulses. Okay, so tucking the tail, push through the feet, and then lift the hips up to the sky. And now you're just going to pulse. Okay, so you're letting the hips pulse up and down. And you might really be feeling those hamstrings and then also feeling those glutes, so squeezing the glutes at the top there. Good, maybe one last little pulse. And then lower the spine down, vertebra by vertebra. All right, so bring your knees towards your chest. You might not want to squeeze the legs all the way in if you're looking after your hips. Yeah, so maybe you're to stay to here. Okay, but if all feels okay, wrap your arms over the tops of the shins and draw the knees in towards the chest. Yeah. And then we'll just take a twist. Okay, so let both knees fall to the right side. Take anything out of the way that's in the way. Yeah, don't worry about the strap now, just leave it there. Squeeze the knees together, big breath in. Now, if you're looking after your hips, don't have your knees so close to your chest here. Okay, bring the knees back into the center. And then let's take the twist to the other side. Okay, so letting now the legs fall to the left side and just enjoying that twist. Okay, now if you're, again, looking after your knees, you're going to bring your legs a little bit more lower. You're not so close towards your chest. Good. Okay, so lay your left hand back onto the floor and bring the knees back up towards the sky. Now, I like to keep my knees close to my chest, but if you're looking after your hips, you're not going to do that. Okay, now we're just going to let the knees fall from side to side. There's a little tap of the legs to the floor and then back up. And then a little tap to the other side. And back up. Good, try it maybe 4 more times, so twice each side. Seeing if you can get the core strong, and you can use your hands to support you. Yeah, so you're pushing the hands or the arms into the floor. Belly is getting stronger with every little twist. Good. All right, so now place your feet back down onto the mat. Yeah. You can have your hands down onto the floor. Big breath in, belly expands. Now as you breathe out, push the hands down, tuck the tail and lift the hips up. That's it. Now, see now if you can, start to take the weight into your left foot and just hover your right leg so it comes in line with that left leg. Yeah. Good. Hold it there, breathe in. And as you breathe out, let your right foot rest back onto the mat. You can push the leg into the strap or if you've not got it, doesn't matter. And then push down through your right foot and see if you can hover your left foot off. That's it, good. Hamstring strong, glute strong. And then lower it down. Good, so now see if you can lift the hips up a little bit higher. And then we draw a figure of 8 with the hips. Yeah, so trying to see if you can create that nice figure of 8. And then pressing the hips up to the sky. And then lowering the spine down nice and slowly, vertebra by vertebra. Good. All right, nice guys. So if you've got the strap there, you're going to take it away. And nice and easy, you've got both feet flat on the floor. Just let your right ankle cross over your left thigh. So now just let the leg relax completely. Take a breath in. Okay. And as you breathe out, as an option, your right hand can try and press the right hip open. Yeah, now Obviously, if you're looking after that hip, Kathy, then you won't want to force this, you'll just want to relax into it. Okay, but if you want to get a bit more into your hip, then you can really press that right knee away. Okay. If you want to go a little bit further, you're going to take your hands around your left leg and draw the left thigh into the chest. Okay, that's only if you want to go a little bit further. You can always use the strap, catch hold of the back leg, of the left leg. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Good. All right, place the left foot back onto the mat. And then see if you can lift the right foot all the way to the sky. We can do little pulses here. Push down to your left foot and lift your hips up. Keep the foot directly to the sky and then lower back down. Try it 5 more times. Pushing up and lower down. Good. 4 more times. Pulse up, lower down, and again, keep it going. Nice little pulses. Bring the awareness into your hamstring and the glute, and don't leave this right hip behind. Good. Let's try one more. Pulse up, and then lower down. Good. So now draw a line with your right foot all the way to the front of the mat. So you're lowering the leg down straight. So see how long your leg can feel. Excellent. Then once the heel touches the floor, then we can bend the right leg and bring the foot back in. All right, so now take your left ankle on the front of the right thigh. Your eyes can close and just let your hips relax. Okay, feel the weight of the back of the body on the floor. Breathing in, belly, body expands. Breathing out. If you do want a little bit more, use your left hand to press the left knee away. And if you want even more, start to take your hands around your right leg and then draw the leg into the chest. Okay. So sometimes I say here, it's like you've got to try and resist this pose. And you're pushing your left ankle into the right thigh and right thigh into the left ankle. But you can also just try relaxing into it. Yeah, so all the muscles relax and the joints just get that stretch. Breathing in. And breathing out. So everything that we've worked on the outside of that left hip, all the different muscles there of the glutes are getting a nice stretch. So you're going to pop your right foot back onto the mat. And we'll extend the left leg up to the sky. Now, see if you can have those toes straight up. Okay. You can have your hands on the floor. Breathe in. Don't leave this left hip behind as the belly draws back. The hamstring of the right leg and the right glute help to lift the hips up. And then lower the spine down so you're nice and controlled. Okay, try that 4 more times. Belly back, pushing up. And then lower back down. Good, 3 more times. Nice little pulse. Lower back down. 2 more times. Yeah, so hopefully you can feel a little bit of fire there in that right hamstring and the right glute. And then last time, don't worry if it's too many rounds, you can always just wait for us. And then lower the spine down. Good, so now you're going to point your left toes. And then try and keep the legs straight and withdraw a line with the foot all the way to the front of the mat. Notice if you draw your belly button back, everything is more controlled. I can control those legs a lot more. Excellent. Now extend your right leg out, so it's the same as the left leg. And breathe in, lift your arms up and over your head. As you breathe out, squeeze your belly button back into the floor and feel the core strong there. And again, breathing in. Try to see if you feel that arch in the back as you extend into your whole body. And as you breathe out, tuck your tail and round your back. So you're feeling now less of an arch in your lower back. Okay, one more time, breathe in. Reach the fingers to the back, the toes to the front. And then exhale, belly draws back, squeeze the lower back into the floor. Good, guys, nice. Now hold it there. You're going to walk both feet over towards the right side. And then walk both arms and the upper body over to the right side. And you're just going to get this nice stretch here all through the left side of your body. And if you want a little bit more, just pop your left ankle over the right ankle. Might be a little bit too much, so just see what feels good. Inhale. As you exhale, belly back, squeeze both buttocks into the mat. Yes, you don't want to feel one higher. Yes, so uncross the legs if they're crossed. And come back to the center. And we'll move the upper body over towards the left side. And then we walk the feet over towards the left side. You get that nice stretch there all through the right side. If you want a little bit more, just cross your right ankle over the outside of the left ankle there. Breathing in. And breathing in. Nice, guys. Good. Okay, walk your feet back to the center. I love that pose, like a big yawn. And then as you exhale, bend the knees again, bring your feet flat. That's it. If everything's okay with you guys, then you can bring your knees into your chest. Give them a nice little hug. And then we're going to roll over onto the right hand side and just make your way up to seated. Yeah. And then coming onto all fours. Yeah. You take a little child's pose for a moment. You may sit your hips back into your heels, relax the tummy, the chest, the head down. And maybe come onto the fingertips. And as you're on the fingertips, then you can let your chest and your head melt into the mat. Come up onto all fours, hands planted into the floor. And we get the nice movement through the spine there. Okay, so let your belly drop. And feel the tailbone up to the sky. Yeah. Gaze up. And then find the reverse of that. So you bring your chin to your chest. Now feel the glutes engage as you tuck your tail and then push away from the mat. And again, inhale, draw the head and chest forwards. Feel the arch in the back, tailbone high. And then use your glutes to draw the tailbone down. And then push through the hands, chin to chest. 2 more times, breathing in. And then breathing out, tucking the tail, feel the hamstrings, feel the glutes fire up there. Last time, inhale, draw the head and chest forwards, arching the back. And then exhale, tucking the tail, rounding your back, push the mat away. Good. All right, come back to neutral. Now, if you need to double up your mat, if your knees are aching here, double up the mat. Maybe you're lucky you're on carpet. But we're going to slide your right leg back. You should just feel a nice stretch through that right calf. I love doing this pose. It's so nice. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, belly draws back, so that's supporting your spine. And then lift your right leg to the sky. That's it. Now keep drawing your chest forwards. We actually did this in our flow class last week. We're going to pulse the leg up and down. So now we're getting into the glute, we're getting into the hamstring, but also getting into the lower back, especially if you keep that core strong. And then can you take a little circle with that right leg? Mm-hmm. Good, and then take the circle the other way. Just make sure you're not opening up that hip. So you're keeping those toes pointing down. And then the hardest, I think, is to go side to side. That's it, nice. Good, we're gonna bring the knee into the nose. Squeeze it in, maybe not too much, or maybe as much as you can. And then extend your right leg all the way back again and squeeze the right heel towards the floor. Yeah. Now keep pushing your right toes into the floor and see if you can lift the left knee off. So you're just nice and loose with that left leg. Maybe the leg can just move side to side. Good. All right, gonna lower the left knee to the floor. And then lower the right leg to the floor. Take a little child's pose, setting the hips into the heels. Relax the tummy, chest, head down. Inhale. Come on to fingertips if you need a little bit more. And exhale. All right, looking forwards, come up onto all fours. So going for the other side now. You're gonna slide your left leg back. Press the toes into the floor. Now you're getting that nice stretch through the left calf. Yeah, breathe in. And as you breathe out, draw the chest forwards and you can start to lift the left leg off the floor. Yeah, so this is great for the hamstring, great for your glutes, great for your core. You can start to pulse the leg up and down. Okay, really try and bring it into lower back, glute and hamstring. That's it. And then take a little circle. Try not to move the rest of your body. And then take the circle the other way. So now you're working inner and outer thigh as well. And then see if you can feel the difference now as you take the legs side to side. So really getting into that inner, outer hip muscles, glute muscles. Good. All right, then from there, bring the knee into the nose. Now maybe you bring it in all the way, squeezing it in nice and tight, or maybe just a little bit. And then extend the left leg back and press your toes into the floor. Now keep pushing the heel back until your right knee comes off. Getting that nice stretch there through the left calf. And you can let your right leg just be weak and let it swing side to side. So the hip's getting a bit of a stretch, bit of a release. Nice. Well done. Okay, and then lower your right knee to the floor and then lower the left knee down. Now instead of coming into puppy pose, into child's pose, rest your forearms on the floor and see if you can hold on to opposite elbows. Now you want to keep your hips right above your knees there. Let the elbows walk forwards and then let the forehead rest on the floor. So you're getting a nice stretch through the arms, through the armpits and through the spine. And if it's too much, just keep your arms out in front. Yeah. So chest doesn't go all the way to the floor in this one. But you do get that nice stretch through the arms and the armpits and feel the spine nice and long. Looking forwards, and we can come back up onto all fours and find the opposite of that, an angry cat, chin to chest, round your back. Good, nice, good. Okay, come back into a neutral spine, and then you're going to lower yourself down onto the floor. Okay, now you can rest your head on your hands. And I want you to feel the arch in your back. And then try and lessen the arch by pushing the thighs into the floor and the pubic bone into the floor. Now hover, squeeze your feet together. Legs are straight, pushing the thighs into the floor and the pubic bone. Can you just lift your right foot off the floor? Yeah, keep it straight. Yeah, keep it long. Keep pushing the pubic bone down. And then lower down. And then see if you can tuck under and then make the left leg feel longer as you lift it off the floor. And lower down. Try it again. This time though, take your arms out to the side, so maybe in line with the corners of your mat. Forehead is on the floor. You're going to breathe in and try and lift your right leg off the floor. And then try and lift your left hand off the floor. Good. Lower the left hand down. Lower your right leg down. And let's see if you can lengthen that left leg to lift it off the floor. And then can you lift your right hand off the floor? Breathing in. Breathing in. Good. Lower the leg down. Lower the hand down. Now we'll bring the hands underneath the head again. And now relax your glutes, relax your hamstrings, relax your back. Give it a little wiggle side to side. From here, bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders. Press your palms flat on the floor. Now start to feel the stretch from the chest down the core. And if you've got a bit more space, go a little bit higher. So you keep the hands where they are, push your pubic bone down, and then lift your chest up. So maybe getting a little bit more into the hip flexor there. We're going to go one step further, lower yourself back down. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Now push your hands down and lift your chest up. See if you can get a little bit deeper into this Cobra Pose. Yeah, the thighs are on the floor, so it's Cobra Pose. You might now be able to lower down and take your feet just as wide as the mat. Lift the head and chest up. Right, try and slide your hips a bit closer to your hands and then come a little bit higher. But you might stay at the pose before. If you want to go a little bit further again, bring your feet in. And then curl the upper body back. Give it a go. Yeah. And when you're done, lower the legs down. And we're going to push back into your child's pose. Big toes touching, knees open wide. If you don't want to sit all the way into child's pose, you can just bring your forearms onto the floor. Big breath in. And a long breath out. Good, guys, nice. Excellent. We'll start to walk the hands back up. Okay, we're going to fall onto the one side and take the legs out in front. Just to feel the hamstrings a little bit. If this does aggravate the hips, then you probably want to sit on a block here. But breathe in, lift the head and chest up, and then breathe out and fold forwards. Okay, so maybe you could try, if normally you have your legs straight, you can just try with the knees bent. Yeah. See how it goes. We want to feel those hamstrings, and Sarah, you want to look after that hamstring. But a little gentle stretch will do it good. So you're breathing in. And breathing out. Nice, guys, good. All right, start to come back up. A little bit more for the glutes and the hamstrings. Turn the fingers towards the bum. Draw the shoulders back, lift the chest up, and then we'll bend the knees and bring your feet flat. Inhale. And as you exhale, push down and then lift the hips up. Now you can just stay here, or maybe you want to do a little bit of pulsing. Yeah, so you're pulsing the pelvis up towards the sky, and feel that in your hamstrings and your glutes. That's where it's coming from, not from your triceps, so you're not bending your arms, just squeezing the hips up. If you've got no issues with your neck, you can always let your head hang back. Okay, but if you've got things going on with your neck, keep gazing up to the sky. Good. And then lower the bum to the floor. Whoop. And then extend the legs out and shake out those wrists. Shake out the shoulders. One more time, bent knees again or straight legs. Yes, straight legs is a little bit harder. Hands behind you, fingers towards the bum. Draw the shoulders back, lift the chest up. Belly is strong. push through the heels and lift the hips up. Yeah. Hold it there, breathe in. If you've got your knees bent and you feel like pulsing, you can pulse. And otherwise, one more breath. And then we lower the hips to the floor. Release the arms and give them a stretch. Give them a shake. Okay, so well done. So now, if you are happy to sit cross-legged, just bring one foot in front of the other. You can always have the blocks underneath your bum. Yeah. And if you don't want your knees to go down so far, then you can always have the blocks underneath the knees there. That feels quite nice. Hands on your knees, and we just let the right ear fall towards the right shoulder, stretching out any tension that you've built up there. And then bringing the head back to the center, lower left ear towards left shoulder. And again, try and feel heavy head. And bringing the head back to the center. You can turn the face up to the sky. You really want to feel the stretch through the front of the throat. And then the opposite of that, bringing your chin to your chest. Good. All right, bringing yourself back up. Lovely. And we're going to come back down onto the floor now. So bring your knees up. That's it. Extend your legs out in front. And time to chill out. So lying down onto your mat, and take the block on its middle edge like this. We call it semi-detached. And then you can then lift your hips up and just place the block underneath your lower back there. So this isn't on your spine at all. This is more on the sacrum. So make sure it's not anywhere kind of on the delicate part of the spine, but more on the long bone by your, just above your buttocks, I guess. And it should feel comfortable. If it's not, then you can flip it on its lower edge. But let your feet walk out towards the right side, the edges of the mat, and just let the knees press in towards each other. So now I'm a big fan of taking my arms up and over the head, but it might not feel good for you, so you choose. Hands can be down by your side or up and over your head. Now just let the muscles relax. Yeah, you've worked your glutes, your hamstrings, your core, and you've stretched out. So now just let all of that relax. And if you feel your mind's wandered to something that's distracting you within the house, or thoughts of things you need to do, then try and brush them away just for these last few moments. Walk your feet back towards each other and just extend your left leg straight. And then let your left toes fall out to the side. Feel the left hip kind of open there. Should feel all right for the hip joint. We're not really rotating the hip within the hip socket. We're just letting that right hip bone fall open. It should feel nice. Breath nice and slow and steady. And if you feel like your back isn't comfortable, just flip the block onto its lower edge. Okay, now let the left toes move towards the sky, so they come straight, and then re-bend that left leg. Right, and now extend your right leg straight. And again, let the right toes just fall to the side. The block is supporting the hips, it's not going to drop down too far, but the weight of the leg with the foot turning out to the sides, just enough weight to feel that right thigh, right hip opening without getting into the joint. And if your back does give you a bit of something here, then you're going to turn that block on the other side. Turn it down flat. Good. All right, picking the right toes back up to the center, and then bending the knee and placing the foot flat down onto the mat. Okay, now push down through your feet, lift the hips up, slide the block out of the way, and then let the spine lower down nice and slow. Good. Once the tailbone hits the floor, just come up high onto your toes there. And then as you exhale, can you lift those hips up one last time? Try and get into the hip flexor as well as getting the hamstrings and the glutes. And then keep the heels lifted as you lower back down. And that's it, nice, good. Now come into a plow pose. If you're not happy to do plow, then you can take a happy baby. Now you can do a gentle version of happy baby, just holding onto the thighs, so you don't go down too far. But if you're happy to come into plow, counter posing the whole class, palms flat into the floor, go slow because you haven't done much of this direction. Use your hands to support your back and let the feet fall behind you. Now I just want you to let your spine relax here without having too much weight in your neck. Otherwise, happy baby is totally fine. Breathing in, good, looks good. And breathing out. Palms flat down onto the floor, and then start to lower the spine down nice and slow. Good, if you're in happy baby, just let the feet slide out to the corners of the mat, and if you're coming from your plow, feel the tailbone rest on the floor and then extend your legs out. Okay, and then you can have your hands down by your side, palms face up. Let your back of the head rest on the mat. Let every muscle settle. And so maybe you feel that little bit of heat in your glutes, in your hamstrings. And no awareness on your breathing, just letting your whole body relax into the mat. Take this moment to truly rest. Feel yourself drop deeper into a relaxed state. You're exactly where you need to be right now. Your body and your mind wants you to rest. If you need a little bit more time there, then you can stay there as long as you like. You can ignore me completely. And if you're ready to move with me, start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Maybe start to deepen your breathing. Next breath in, you're reaching your arms above the head, doing a full body stretch. Rolling over onto the right hand side to take a little bit of time in a fetal shape. Keeping your eyes closed, come up to seated to face the front. Sit in any shape that feels good for you. Bring your hands to the heart center, thumbs into your chest bone. Gratitude for getting onto your mat today. Big breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Thank you so much for checking in with me today. Namaste. Have a beautiful day. Hope you feel good and relaxed. Send me any questions that you need.